All right. Shit, do I do an intro?
I don't know.
Hello, millions of... Yeah, okay.
Legends never die.
Oh, yeah. I'll let you guys sing the intro, and then I'll come in, yeah?
I just try to mimic the dive intro.
The dive in.
I thought of the dive
Band.
intro, and the only
should
thing that
call
came
it
to mind...
We should call it Silver TSM so we could put it as autism.
No. We need to have like an acronym, right? That spells out OT. Team OT.
Benji, what are you on?
A unified team. OT.
A does not get acronymed.
It does in my book.
It doesn't.
An awesome unified team.
Now that's just cringe.
All right. Welcome everybody to the first ever podcast for the 2020 summer split for the LCS. Here we like to talk about all things LCS and things in the league community in general. Things being like, man, why is every region so much better than us? And so on, so forth. My name is Benji, otherwise known as Dum Dum Doggy. I'm joined here today by my friends Cordata and Faxi. Would you guys like to say hi?
What's up, guys?
Oh, this is scuffed.
I don't know.
Alright,
I wasn't expecting
that. Let's cut that one and restart.
Restart. All right, I've been recording this whole time.
You can just cut it.
All right. I'm harnessing my inner like YouTube intro. What's up, guys? All right, I'm gonna cut that
Bro
one.
Fresco here.
Can I get a like and subscribe?
Remember, if you like this podcast, all right. The name of the podcast is "Cracking Open a Podcast with the Boys."
Cracking open a child's skull.
With the boys.
Yeah.
It's a team activity.
What happened to Bro Fresco? It's been 3 years.
Dude, Bro Fresco? Oh my god, I remember watching him and thinking he was good.
Isn't he like a league player?
Yeah, but he hasn't
Has he uploaded?
done it. He hasn't uploaded in 3 years. He literally died.
Wait, really?
He's dead. He's dead.
He's not actually dead though.
Yeah. No, he's just a model now. Okay.
Is he really?
Yeah. CEO of U Sponsor.
What?
Isn't he like Australian or something?
Yeah, but now he's in Barcelona.
Oh?
Made millions smile and made millions of dollars for brands.
Huh.
He's the CEO of a company now.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
How do you go from YouTuber?
A YouTuber with like pink stuff everywhere?
He's only 21. The fuck?
What?
What happened? It has to be a family business, right?
He's a CEO.
Yeah, he owns the family business.
Yeah, no, I know that. It's just like.
I think shoot. Well, I forgot what I was thinking.
Don't do that.
Oh, okay. Oh, there was an LCK player that like after he got done playing in the LCK, he became a model or some shit like that. This was a couple years back though, like season like 5.
Okay, anyways, can we just get down to business here?
All right. I'll do the intro. All right. Can you hear me rub my hands together to get started?
Slightly.
How about now?
Yes?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever Silver TSM podcast. We are not sponsored or have any collaboration with TSM, but big fans. So anyway, that's the name of the podcast. My name's Dum Doggy. These are my friends, Cordata and Faxi, and
Hey.
today we're gonna be
What's
talking.
up, guys?
Hey, no, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, just say hi. You know?
Dude, do you want me to I said 3 words.
All right. Third time's the charm.
Dude, what do you want me to say?
You
You
have
were
to
like,
wait a bit,
Just
Benji,
you gotta
for
wait. You gotta
us.
wait. You gotta wait for. Like if I go silent, it's like, oh, it's my
You're gonna
time.
introduce us. We're gonna say hi. Then you're gonna introduce Tyler, and then he's gonna say hi, and then you're gonna continue.
Okay, this is a good plan. Okay, yeah, good plan. Good plan. All right. Hey everybody, welcome to our first ever podcast. Still undecided as to what the title is going to be, but that's not what's important right now. What's important is the League of Legends that we're about to talk about today. All right, we're going to be covering all the stuff in the LCS going on, these off-season moves, the predictions, where we think the standings are going to be, our Week 1 predictions, and also news about the esports world in general concerning League of Legends. I'm joined here by my two friends, Mr. Cordata
Heyo.
and Mr. Faxi.
what's up, guys?
And I am, of course, Dum Doggy. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Let's talk about these off-season moves. Now, how much of you guys really paid attention to this off-season going into Summer Split?
It's not too much, but like obviously the whole double lift thing was on my radar, but not too much.
That was huge. That was huge, right? There's so much stuff going on about that. Plus
I mean,
the
yeah, we
TSM
talked about
scandals
it
and
too.
stuff.
We talked about it a couple of weeks before, and we honestly all didn't we think like it was a pretty low possibility.
Yeah, everyone was making videos about it, about how like, nah, there's no way he joins TSM. He's gonna be shipped out to Immortals or some shit,
And then
or
TSM
something.
picked him up, and then
Yeah,
it's crazy.
it started a whole conundrum with the Lena thing. We're not even gonna go into that. But I think Faxi, you've spent a lot more time like looking at the off season though, right?
Yeah, I have. And I mean, there haven't been that many like huge monumental moves, but we've had a few. I guess I'll just list them out. Demonte to Golden Guardians.
Ooh,
That was a pretty big one, I guess I would say, since Demonte
yeah,
went from like the World Championship to Academy, just like 0 to 0 so
For
quickly.
some reason.
And
now
now he's
he's
back on the
back.
starting roster, on the Golden Guardians roster. Yep. And then we got Huni to Evil Geniuses.
Mm-hmm.
According to Travis Gafford's podcast, it sounds like he's just going to be playing mentor for Kumo since he can't be playing on the main roster with all the import slots being filled up by Jizuke and Bang.
Do you think? All right. Do you think that they get rid of either Jizuke or Bang, and so they could have Huni play on the team, or
No,
he's just
I
going to be a
think-
mentor?
After finishing second in the standings in spring split, which I mean was pretty good given that you were never going to be Cloud9 last split.
Yeah, no one was.
I think
There's no reason to
Jizuke
fix something
because he's a
that
good
isn't broken.
mid laner.
What was
But
that?
Bang, I think you don't replace Jizuke because he's a good mid laner, right? Like he's pretty good, even though he's kind of had some wacky games and whatnot. I mean, the only person you could argue is Bang, but who are you going to replace Bang with? To put Huni of all people top lane, you know, the highest solo deaths, isolated deaths. You know,
Yeah.
you really want that on your team.
Yeah, I mean that's a right concern, in itself. So is it just those three big ones, I guess?
There are a few others if you'd like me to list them out.
Yeah, go ahead.
These ones are more minor, but FlyQuest moved on from their top laner Viper and replaced him with Solo. So now Viper's on Dignitas starting for as their top laner, replacing Huni.
Okay.
Then we have Spica to TSM after they let go of Dardoch, and Dardoch is now on Dignitas starting alongside Acadian. Kavi left TSM, joined Misfits, Double F back to TSM, and Rush to CLG.
Yeah.
Those are the most notable.
It seems like we have a lot of like there are a lot of like cards on the field, but they're not necessarily being played, if that makes sense, right? Like there's a lot of teams have the capacity to make some big changes with cards that they already have in their hand, right? They don't there's no trades that needs to be made, but there is a big potential for roster swaps to happen just inside the organization in themselves, and that's pretty exciting, at least to
Yeah, I
me.
mean, this is a crazy, preseason for the summer split. Like, this is a lot of changes for a summer split.
Yeah, yeah, and I think going into the future, we're just going to be seeing a more volatile like preseasons for summer split, just because there's a bigger emphasis on the summer, right? And
Yeah, it's pretty
if your
painful
org just
usually.
isn't doing good, oof, it's you got to make moves now, basically.
Yeah, because summer is just so impactful on if you're going to Worlds or not.
Exactly. And remember, the summer split, it's got a new playoff format. Uh,
Yeah,
8 teams now have the possibility of going to Worlds, which
crazy.
made making my standings a little bit easier. I will admit, just because I had 8 teams going into playoffs instead of just the normal 6, which is crazy considering that like, look, all right, LCS sucks. I'll admit it, but we're like united in our sucking, if that makes sense, right? Like doing my number one spot, it was very easy to do, but the rest, like the rest of the 9, very hard. And so that we're like collected and we're unified in our suckiness. And given this new playoff format, it's really nice, see the LCS come together as one unified mass of just like sucking at league.
I think it gives a lot more chances to teams.
Yeah, that like previously wouldn't have a chance.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes
really
sense.
show that they can do something with the playoff spot that they gain.
You guys ready to list your standings?
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean,
All right,
Who
all
wants
right.
to go first?
I'm gonna go first. All right. So number 1, I've got C9. Number 2, TL. I think TL is gonna. I think they're gonna bounce back. All right. That's still a star-studded roster, and I think AD carry is one of the most plug-and-play positions in the game. I think tactical is gonna do fine. Just needs the auto attack. That's it.
they, I mean, we can get into it later, but I think tactical just needs to be like, I'll sit bot and farm.
Yeah. And that's like the thing is though, like that's a totally viable strategy. Like I like to
Because
work.
right now, bot lane isn't that impactful because we're not reaching stages of the game where ADCs can be super impactful. You could just stick them on
Right.
Ezreal, go Frozen Mallet, Death Stance, and it's like, okay, you have an AD carry. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And you just play around Jensen.
Number 3, I've got TSM. Number 4, FlyQuest. I know FlyQuest beat TSM, but I think this double up trade's gonna put him on top. I really do believe in the redemption split for Doublelift. I think he's a very emotional player who relies on his emotions to like push him through things. And I think he's in the right emotional state right now to perform at a high level. I have EG at number 5. I have Golden Guardians at number 6. I have CLG at number 7. I have 100T at 8. Dig at 9. And Immortals at 10. So what do you guys think of this list?
It's pretty similar to mine with there's slight differences.
I can
Yeah, I think
I
the
can copy
4
and
through
paste
8
it into
spot.
the Discord real quick. That's my order right there. So you guys can take a look at that.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but obviously, it gets dicey towards the bottom. I think
Yeah.
what we should do is we should also give our statements first before we talk about it.
Okay.
So, I mean, do you want me to go next, or you want to, Tyler?
You can go ahead.
Okay,
All right.
so I put 1, obviously C9. 2, I put TL. 3, TSM.
Oh, I like this.
4th, I put Dignitas.
What?
Whoa!
Whoa!
I really like this Dignitas roster, and they were doing pretty well last split. All they need to do is to polish some things, and they can be a really good
and
org.
make
They
playoffs.
went 2-7 on the back half. Of the
Yo, yeah, what?
I think I really believe in Johnson.
Oh my god.
I really love him, and I think they can really do something. I mean, they've got pretty easy matchup coming up too. So
Uh-huh.
I think they could do something. I just really hope that they take advantage of what they have.
All right. Sure. We can get into that later. Let's keep going down the list.
Number 5, I put EG.
Okay.
6, I put Fly. For 7, I put Immortals. 8, I put 100 Thieves. 9 is GG, and 10 CLG.
Wow. Okay. That's spicy right there. Obviously, I agree with your top 3. And I agree with your number 5. But your blatant just disrespect of the Golden Guardians, putting them all the way down. And I didn't even put them higher. They got 6th place last year, like last split, right? I think they'll get 6th place again.
I don't think they're a good team.
What do you not like about the Golden Guardians?
Everything.
What do you think Golden Glue's better than Devontae? Like what are we trying to say here?
I just don't think it's a good org in that their coaching staff and just the players. It just feels like the players don't have motivation to play well on that team.
Huh. What do you think, Faxi?
Well, I think with Golden Guardians, they definitely came into the spring split, with like maybe even their players thinking they're going to be 10th place. No one thought much of them, but showing up and ending up 6th, making playoffs, even though you lost in the first round, that's like better than 4 other teams, right? So for sure, I think last split started a fire under them. Got some more confidence, and I think they're a playoff team.
If they were to be a playoff team, it would have to be under certain conditions. It would have to be DeMonte super shakes up, something about them, and Closer and DeMonte just have really good synergy.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what I see. I mean, like obviously, FBI is a really good player, but he's with Keith, and bot lane is just not in a good position right now.
Yeah,
and Hunter, he's not Hunter anymore. He's something else. But he still is Hunter, and he's still able to do his job, I guess, in the top lane. But it doesn't feel like he can be super impactful. I think it really relies on DeMonte and Closer having good synergy and being able to take over games.
If we think about it numerically, right? I think Hanser is still a top 5 top laner. I think Closer, at least last split, was the 2nd best jungler in the league.
Second.
I put him above Xmithy. I put him above Dardoch. He's the only person that he's not better than was Blabber.
Okay.
He had a crazy good. Remember, he was a rookie last split. Like technically,
rookie
right?
to the LCS.
Rookie to the LCS. Look, he was playing in Turkey, right? Like it's a whole different ball game. All right. Like, come on, they're playing on Internet Explorer out there, right? So it's a whole different ballpark, and this guy is just unreal. And he was able to really carry Golden Guardians to at least that 6th place spot, and I think he's just going to do even better. And now that we're upgrading from Golden Glue, who for some reason still has a job in the LCS, doing stuff. I don't know what, right? But we see him every single split. He sucks every single split, and now they're finally replacing him with an actual mid laner who's been to Worlds, right? Like he's a world-class mid laner who got slept on last year for some reason, right? It's the talent has increased, and they're going to do as good as they did last year, if not better. And that's why I think Golden Guardians.
It's really hard to say because certain variables have to be met. So we'll see if those variables are met.
All right. Let's see it.
All right.
Tyler, I'm excited to hear your list. I know that you worked really hard on it.
I think mine's pretty bland compared to your guys's. So number 1, I got C9.
All right.
2 TL.
All right.
3 TSM. And at 4th, I put EG. 5 FlyQuest. 6 100 Thieves. 7 Golden Guardians. 8 Counterlogic Gaming. 9 Dignitas, and 10 Immortals.
Yeah, that's I would think that's most people's prediction there.
Wait, who was your 7 and 9?
My 7 was Golden Guardians, 8 was CLG, 9 was Dignitas, and 10 was Immortals.
Yeah, I also had Dig and Immortals as my 9 and 10. I just don't think we have to talk about that. First off, Logan, you put them as 4th. All right? And I just
And then you put Immortals as a playoff team.
And then you put Immortals as a playoff team, whereas Tyler and I both put respectively Dig and Immortals at 9 and 10. So clearly there is a difference of opinion here. I'm gonna open up the floor.
To make things spicy.
What?
I like to make things spicy.
All right. I appreciate it. Here on the Unnamed podcast, we appreciate spicy takes, but you have to defend those spicy takes. What about Dig is like making you go, yeah, they're gonna do way better than they did last year?
I just
Or
think
last split.
they were a new org, obviously, and they just need. I think Johnson needs to get experience under his belt. He's got Afamu with him, and I just think if they're able to revert back to a meta where, hey, let's try and go bot lane a ton and try and win through that, I think they could totally do it.
Okay, so like putting all their faith into that new up and coming ADC.
I'm super adamant about Johnson being really good. I think he's a really good AD carry.
Right.
I hope that people see that and he gets put onto like a really good team.
What do you think, Fexy?
Well, I think when I look at Dignitas, the Huni trade-ish kind of like has pros and cons to it. I think a pro is that Dignitas no longer has like this loud personality in the top lane that is probably asking for resources every game, and like they don't have to make their game plan centered around top lane. Yeah. However, at the same time, I don't think the replacement of Viper was like. I don't. First off, I don't think they could have gotten a better top laner than Huni, unless they like did a blockbuster deal. And Viper being his replacement, I just don't think it's like adequate enough. You know, Viper had like a really lackluster split and just ended up getting completely replaced by Solo in the playoffs. And like FlyQuest brings in Solo, and then they make it to finals. You know, like it was done for Viper there.
Mm-hmm.
Moves on to Dignitas. Like Viper's champion pool doesn't really fit this meta. He like had a small champion pool to begin with, and he's already on a slump. So I think just the top side for Dignitas is just too glaring. And then you have like uncertainty on who starts in the jungle. And obviously like I think Froggen and Johnson are more methodical, like scale up to late game players. And I am excited to see how Dardoch meshes with Froggen. And
as am I. I'm very excited for that.
Because Dardoch being super aggressive in the early game may not fit Froggen's playstyle, but I don't see them playing through top either, so that means you're going to be ganking bot a lot. And I expect Johnson and Afamu to have to like really step up if they're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stepping up that has to occur by a lot of different players, right? We know how good Froggen is and how good Afamu at least was, but it's a question of like, can they get to that form and can they like agree on a play style, which I'll admit will be easier for them to do now that Huni is off the roster, right? Because I think Huni's a very strong voice. But
personally, I think every team in the LCS has the shot of making playoffs, especially when there's 8 playoff spots, right? I think Dignitas and Immortals could make playoffs, but like given their rosters, given like what I would say like to predictability in the champ select and their gameplay. Like it's hard for them to throw a curveball against teams that just like outmatch them in almost every lane and win. Yeah.
I think the main reasoning behind, my top 8 is that I think they're all better than CLG, and I think they're all better than Golden Guardians. That's my reasoning. It's like I just don't see those teams as being good.
So you have no faith in CLG bouncing back?
No, they were just so lackluster. It was kind of insane. Like they have to super come back if they want to make up for last split.
I agree. But have you heard the rumors? The circulation that's been going on in the league right now.
Oh, that they're like the most dominant scrimmers?
Yeah, like they're just scrim gods.
I mean, haven't they said like so many times pro players are like scrims don't really translate to much. Like,
but they should still count for
really
something,
translate.
right?
All right. Well, I mean, if you look at CLG last split, they were kind of in a similar position to Team Liquid in that like one of their star players, which I would say is Pobelter on CLG, came in late. So like you didn't really get that team chemistry going very quickly.
Uh-huh.
And he started off with Crown, who probably doesn't speak very good English, so his communication was probably off. And last split was all about the mid jungle duos, and Wiggly and Crown just like could not click.
Mm-hmm.
The CLG roster should not be this bad. I wanted to put them. I actually had them at 5th at one point while I was making these standings, but like they need to prove it because like
Yeah.
I couldn't put 100 Thieves and Golden Guardians below them when like 100 Thieves and Golden Guardians proved themselves in some respect.
Yeah, I think like the only reason I put them as 7th is like I think that they like are going to pull themselves up a little bit. And look, the good thing about being on the bottom is that the only place you can go is up. So if I'm gonna buy into the rumors that there's scrim gods, I'll buy into it a little bit, but only at like half price if it were stock. All right. And we're just gonna put them at 7. They're like barely squeaking in there with 100T. So yeah, I think all in all we can all agree, given the new playoff format, it's going to be like this summer split will be one of the most hyped summer splits in LCS history. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Oh, we'll see. So, transitioning a little bit, all 3 of us had the same top 3 teams, right? Now,
Yeah.
this means that these are the top 3 teams that we're predicting to go to Worlds. I'm going to open the floor up a little bit here. So we all just sort of buy into the fact that TL is going to bring it back this split, right?
I think so, yeah. I just think they had a really, really bad split. Broxa came in late. I don't think that was like, everything, because Broxa did kind of not perform how everyone thought he would. But there was also the whole double lift thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a really, really whack split for them. That I think a lot of things didn't go well for them, and it just really affected performance.
Right. Hey, and remember, I got a new coach now. All right, Mr. Jet, and he's gonna give us that caster view experience for the coach. I think he's just really gonna revitalize the whole team.
I totally forgot that Jet was coaching. I don't like it. Why did they get rid of who was it? What was his name again?
Kane.
Yeah, Kane. Why
Yeah,
did they
Kane.
like honestly? I don't think
They didn't get rid of Kane. He just moved down to like an assistant coach spot.
I think sometimes teams are too fast to blame the coach.
Well, yeah, it's like
It's kind of nuts.
in some scenarios, it's like the only thing you can do. If you have a star-studded roster and it's not working, it's very hard to blame the stars, and very few orgs do that. we see this in traditional sports too, right? When the Lakers were not doing well and they had LeBron James on the team, they were like, well, it can't be LeBron's fault. There's no way. It's clearly Luke Walton's fault. And so they fired him and got a new coach for the
Frank
Lakers.
Vogel. Yep.
Yeah, so it's like
It's kind of a scapegoat sometimes.
it's a scapegoat situation, and I'm glad that Kane didn't lose his job. I'm glad that he's still like on the payroll for TL. But some changes need to be made, and it couldn't have been a roster one, right? One, because you don't want to lose that talent, but also you don't want to give away that talent, right? I think TL is in an interesting situation to where they're holding a lot of like the big cards that like other teams might
did
want.
lose Double Lift for tactical, and they gave it to TSM.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
that was a crazy move. But I mean, Double Lift talked about it. He was just like, yeah, they didn't want to give me to a crappy team. They wanted to make it fair for me and whatnot. So he's just the org wanted to treat him well.
I think for TL last split especially, they kind of trashed the split a little bit once Double Lift lost motivation and Broxa was late, and I think they did do a lot of plug and play as far as like I'm pretty sure they like tested every variable, especially with like coaching. They like put everyone in different positions to see like which variable was like the messed up one, I guess. And I think they just came upon the conclusion that like Kane might feel more comfortable in like an assistant coach spot and have someone else take the head coach reins out of the way.
Right.
But I mean, Jat.
Yeah, I mean, I think the explanation kind of spoke for itself when it comes to the Jet. He's really not going to like tell them how to play, but he's going to be engaging with the team in their dialogue, I guess you could say, and trying to make them like work together and make sure they have like a cohesive understanding of like how they want to approach the game. And I think that's the way coaches are kind of like being used at this point. It's like almost a relationship manager and some kind of like dating sim or something like that, right? Like it's like you're just trying to make everyone happy and keep everyone like motivated and that kind of thing. And it's less of like a, oh, this is how we're going to actually play the game. At least that's how it seems.
Yeah. I think, yeah, Jat talked about it, how he wanted to give an identity to TL.
Yeah.
And I guess that's something they need. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's not hard to form the identity of, hey, what if we just play mid bot or jungle bot? I mean, jungle mid. Jesus.
And
Just
if
play
we
jungle
like,
mid.
and if we
Just play around.
hypothesize like what the identity could be, right? Like those are some scary identities. If they're like, oh, we're gonna play through mid and jungle, and it's like, oh, we have Jensen and Broxa as our mid and jungle. That is a very scary duo if they can make that work. Probably the best duo in the league, right? They're like, oh, we're gonna just play through top lane. That's still Impact. Like Impact's no joke, right? And you want to talk about a redemption split? Like everyone on TL has something to prove now that they were placed 9th last split. So it's not just Doublift that's on a warpath. It's Impact as well, vowing to do better. It's Brox and Jensen wanting to reclaim that glory, and Core GJ has probably never done this bad in his life. So
Yeah.
it's TL's got something to prove, and I think they're going to be very, very hungry to do well this split. I want to kind of take it a peg down a little bit. Let's talk about TSM, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, talking about the whole mid jungle identity, Spica. Total. What's this guy gonna do? Is he gonna deliver? He's with Bjergsen, arguably one of the best mid laners in the league. Obviously, one of the most decorated. Behind Doublelift, who is on the same team.
Yeah. And it seems like it's do or die for TSM. They've missed Worlds the last 2 years in a row.
Which was the first time that they missed it, and then they did it again.
They run it back, and then they did it again. So it's, I mean,
if the org has something to prove, as well as the players in Spica and Doublelift. So that's why I put them at 3rd. I was really considering putting them on 2nd, but just because Spica's such a wild card in his performance and how that's going to go, I couldn't put him as 2nd.
Yeah. What do you think, Faxi?
Well, I was actually about to put TSM at 4th, and put EG at 3rd, because I think TSM may have an identity issue at some point in the split, most likely in the beginning. I look at them similar to how I looked at Dignitas last split, and how they have a bunch of like loud personalities, right? And I mean,
Yeah.
in a meta where mid jungle duo is really important, I find that Bjergsen and Spica may not be able to match up to some of the like higher up teams. Like I put more faith in Svenskeren and Jizuke than I would at Spica and Bjergsen.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not to say that like Bjergsen is still Bjergsen. But I do expect him to take more of a supportive role as far as like the champ select goes. This split, you know, it's obviously going to be like we either play around Broken Blade or we play around Double Lift.
Right.
And
I think it's going to be definitely a double lift because
yeah, I mean, I would have to agree it's going to be Double Lift, but you know, how is Broken Blade going to do at that point?
Yeah,
After
I
like
mean,
a
it's hard to
split
tell because Broken Blade
and like
requires a lot of resources.
yeah,
I would say. I mean, we saw him on a couple tanks.
Mhm.
Like he can play the weak side, but it feels rough putting him on the weak side, right? Because I think he is definitely a really really amazing player.
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. I agree.
But I think
It's gonna be exciting. Sorry.
TSM has some self-destructive like not personalities, but like I think this roster has the possibility to like flourish or implode. I mean, the middle ground is probably 4th or 5th, but I think they have too many like people who want resources here and there
Yeah,
for it to
I was
work just
thinking
off
about
the
it
bat.
earlier, where it's like there's going to be a lot of voices. Biofrost is not a rookie anymore. He has a voice. He wants to talk. He has things to say. You have Bjergsen, who obviously has things to say, and then now you throw Double Lift in, who has things to say. I think it's lucky that Spica is a rookie and that he's not going to be super loud. And I mean, Broken Blade, he's not very loud, but he does talk. So I think there might be a problem of communication, and there's way too many voices speaking at once and wanting to do a ton of different things. But I think one of the biggest things that Double Lift brings is mentality, a mentality where he holds his teammates accountable, and I think that's what TSN needed, like super needs, is just to be held accountable of mistakes, someone to tell them we needed to do this, or someone during game to be like, let's do this now,
Yeah.
right? Because it really felt like last split their mid game was, what are we doing? Where
Yeah.
is that a Baron? No, let's Dragon. But they just got Baron, so let's do Dragon. Oh, it's too late. Oh, now they're at Dragon. Oh god, we lost the game. Right? So it's like I think Double Lift is going to give that decision making.
Yeah. I mean that makes sense. I'm on board with it. I'm excited to see where everything's gonna go. And like I said, I think personally this is gonna be the most exciting summer split that we've had in a very long time, just because of all the storylines that are going on, and something about opening up the playoffs to two more teams, just having two more teams in there makes it so much more exciting about like who's gonna make it. Like these bottom teams are all on similar levels, right? So it's really anybody's game, right? You could make an argument that IMT pulls some wins out of their butt, and they're like, "Yo, we're picking up this 8th seed. Let's go." Like if I told you guys that, you'd be like, "Okay, yeah, like it makes sense." I don't agree, but like it makes sense.
I mean, IMT was forced into 2 tiebreakers, where they had to win one to make playoffs, and they lost both.
Yeah. So making playoffs is totally doable for IMT and any of these teams. So let's segue. Let's go into these week 1 predictions. All right. I'm just gonna rapid fire this. All right. And in future podcasts, we're gonna reflect on this. And I've got a tally sheet to my right here, and we're gonna see who stays right the most. Who's gonna have the highest pick percentage out of the three of us. All right. So I'm just gonna rapid fire down this list, and you guys tell me what you think, and we're gonna keep track of it. All right. So I'm gonna start with Tyler. Or sorry, actually, my bad. 100T versus EG. Go.
EG.
Fly versus C9.
C9.
All right.
Yeah, C9.
EG versus CLG.
EG.
All right.
EG.
TSM versus TL. This is a big one.
TSM.
Yeah, TSM. All right. IMT versus Fly.
Fly.
Okay. Golden Guardians versus Dignitas.
Golden Guardians.
Oh.
Okay. C9 versus 100T.
C9.
Okay. Dig versus TSM.
TSM.
TL versus GG.
TL.
And last but not least, CLG versus IMT.
CLG.
All right. I'll let you know. We had the exact same picks for all of them except the very last one. I think IMT is going to pick up that first game.
Yeah.
Just because they have a tendency to win early in the season. All right. Cordata, starting with you. 100T versus EG.
EG.
EG. All right. Fly versus C9.
C9.
Okay. All right. Just playing it safe, I see. EG versus CLG.
EG.
TSM versus TL.
TSM.
IMT versus Fly.
Honestly, this one's kind of hard. I kind of want to go with Immortals, but you know what? Immortals. I'm gonna say Immortals.
All right. I'm gonna leave it to you to keep it spicy. GG versus Dig.
Dignitas.
Yeah, you gotta stick with that fourth seed.
We gotta
C9
win a lot
versus.
before.
I would be very surprised if you putting Dig at fourth, then Golden Guardians at ninth, and I say, all right, who wins this matchup? And you're like, Golden Guardians for sure. All right. C9 versus 102.
C9.
All right. Dig versus TSM.
TSM.
TL versus GG.
TL.
CLG versus IMT. This is a big
Immortals.
matchup. All right. Yeah, I agree. But we'll see. It's gonna be exciting.
This week is gonna change any standings. Like this is gonna be the week where it's like, okay, let's take a look at the teams. Are the variables being met that I'm hoping are being met?
Yeah. After
Things
this,
have
it's
to
gonna be
change.
exciting.
Yeah.
I think we'll have a very good picture of like where everything's at. All right. So segueing, let's go into expectations. Right. I've got 3 different teams here. All right. And I'm just gonna we'll just go down the line, starting with Cordata. What are your expectations for this team, or what are like the general underlying thoughts about this team? Like what in like one sentence, what's the team gonna do? How do you summarize this team? Right? So let's start with TSM.
I think they're gonna do well. Like I said earlier, I think Double Lift is gonna bring a good mentality and structure. I think Biofrost being Enchanter meta is gonna be able to do what he normally does. Playing Bard, playing, Lulu's, playing these enchanters that are going to keep Double Lift alive. And Double Lift going to be playing Ophelios, Senna with a new buff, most likely. Even fasting Senna, possibly. Like, I just think it's going to be a play around bot, and I think Double Lift and Biofrost are going to be able to do a lot.
All right. TL.
TL, I think they are going to hopefully make a huge comeback and go from 9th to 2nd place. But I don't think it's going to be because of the Double Lift change. I think it's going to be because they are going to find an identity in playing around jungle and mid. And they're just going to have tactical, be bot lane, play a safe AD carry, be, maybe more of the playmaking AD carries with, say, an Ashe, and just be able to get picks with it and just be a very safe bot laner.
Okay. What about C9?
Yeah, so C9 obviously completely destroyed last split. Like it wasn't close. No one was like, "Oh, C9's going to lose this game." Ha ha ha. No. everyone was like, yeah, C9 wins. I think they're going to continue that. I think they're a very strong team, but I don't think it's going to be as dominant. I still think they're going to be a first place team.
You think the rest of the league sort of catches up? Sort of, kind of.
Yeah, I think people are going to be able to be like, all right, we're going to have to control Blabber. This dude is out of control, and we're going to have to shut down their safe AD carry of Sven, and they're just going to have to learn to play a lot of different things and how to counter C9. And I just think teams are going to be better than what they were in spring.
All right. Faxi, bring it over to you. Same 3 teams. Let's start with TSM. What are the expectations?
TSM definitely expected to make top 3, especially with Doublelift back on the roster. I would say they're expected to make Worlds at this point. I think what we can expect from them, as far as just like the regular season split goes, is just like I'd imagine that they definitely be testing out every lane and its carry potential, because I think every lane has carry potential on that roster. So early in the split, they might toss in some experiment picks, some experiment drafts. But I don't think they'll like start off on the wrong foot, and I definitely imagine them to be able to finish strong. I think they're really gonna like show their strength in the second round compared to the first. I think TSM is like, although like the entire org's pedigree is to like finish first, be first. I think after these last 2 years, they're kind of more comfortable with the idea of like change is good, try new things, and I think they'll go 6-3, maybe 5-4, first round robin, and then second round robin they'll really pop off and finish third, I believe.
Okay. All right. TL, what do you think?
They have to bounce back. I think every like ego and career of like each player except for Tactical, it just got hurt last split. Broxa got humiliated, although like because like a lot of the blame of like TL isn't working went onto him. Like he was late. Smithy like had his number every time Immortals and TL met up, and like it was hard to like look at Broxa and think like he was better than Smithy last split.
Right.
But I think Broxa and Jensen have had time to like mesh better together, and they can be like really fearsome mid jungle duo. And in the bot lane, I no idea what Tactical is going to look like, but I definitely don't think Teal's going to play through a top side. So I think a lot of the resources are going to go to Jensen this split, which is good, given that the mid jungle duo is, in my opinion, the most important thing for the meta, and having weak side bot lane is good as well. And without Doublelift there, they're going to be able to put more resources towards the mid lane, put Jensen in a more carry role maybe.
All right. And of course, last but not least, C9. Now, you being a resident C9 fan, what are your expectations for this team?
Well, I don't think there was a dramatic meta shift during this offseason. In fact, ADC got buffed, and Sven being like the superstar he was last split, like I wouldn't say is only going to get better, but like I expect the same consistency out of them. I think teams will be able to understand C9 a little bit better. Still think they're the top dog because like every player on that roster has proven that you can put resources into them, a team can play around them, and they will like deliver and carry. Niski, Sven, Licorice, all of them. Licorice like has shown incredible flexibility and being able to play weak side. When Sven joined the roster, the main like the rock for C9 when Sneaky was still on the roster, and this Blabber Niski duo, they're just so aggressive. It's like always catching people off guard, and I'd expect a lot of the same things, but with TL and TSM maybe being able to rival them a little bit better this split.
All right. So same dominance, but a little like other teams are going to catch up a little bit. All right. Well, it seems like we're all kind of on the same page. I expect TSM to make Worlds. I expect TL to stop sucking. And I expect C9 to rise to their new expectations of being first place. So let's transition our final little topic before we end out this podcast. World news. Now, the biggest world news that we've got going on right now is that Uzi is retired. Arguably one of the greatest ADCs of all time, and is definitely the greatest player of all time to never win a world championship. What do you let me get some thoughts here. What do you guys think about this?
I think it's sad that he never won, and it's like he's really renowned as the best AD carry. Like he's insane. If you interview any any AD carry, they're like, this dude plays the lane insane.
Mm-hmm.
But he was just never able to win anything, and now he's just retiring. So it's like, well, obviously now he can't win anything.
Yeah,
I expect Uzi to come back.
You expect him to come back? Why?
It's a health issue. Okay, like Uzi has, like, I think the only way Uzi comes back is if they like do a super team. First off, but I think Uzi still has the same fire in him to come back and try to give it one more go, because like he definitely like has unfinished business for sure.
It would be great if they made a super team around him. They made like an SKT, but around the bot.
Like a super Chinese team. I'll make the roster right now. It's the Shy in the top lane, right? It's shoot. But Tyler, who do you think's the best Chinese jungler right now?
Best Chinese jungler. I think I'm gonna have to give it to Karsa.
I would agree. I was debating him or the one from shoot. Is it top or is it JDG?
JDG has Kanavi and FPX has Tien. Then you have Ning on IG.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Karsa. So Shy, Karsa. I'm putting Knight in the mid lane. We're gonna have Uzi as the ADC, and just for fun, we'll put in Afromoo as our support for a little bit of diversity. So that's my super Chinese team. What do you guys think?
Just take Afromoo off.
Replace him with who?
With Mako.
Cello XP to
or Ming. You know, like Ming, his old lane partner.
Oh, that's spicy. I like this. All right. Any other world news that we should talk about before we end this?
Some perks, switch positions again.
Oh yeah.
Thing to do.
Further showing that it was really just a troll. They were just fucking around last split.
I think Caps is just too good of a mid laner.
Yeah. Baby faker.
Griffin got relegated. That's a big one.
Yeah, Tarzan is still a free agent. I'm excited to see where he would end up.
I mean, like, everyone was thinking Griffin was going to be the next big league dynasty, and then just always failed to deliver.
Couldn't branch out of their playstyle.
Yeah.
And then Yamato Cannon is going to be the first Western head coach for a Korean team in Sandbox ever.
Crazy.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I wonder if he has a translator.
Probably does.
Like, he's gonna... No way he speaks Korean.
And I mean, I also want to raise this one question. I don't know if you guys all saw the Mid-Season Cup, but just the results of it. What do you think the implications of that cup is? Like, keep in mind, IG did not win a single game. They went 0-3, and SKT got knocked out early.
All right.
Didn't even make playoffs. And it was 3 LPL teams to 1 LCK.
Look. Here's how it is. All right. We all saw this coming. All right. With China's just supreme having the highest player population, they're always going to have players to draw from, and the level of competition is always going to be so much higher because you have so many people, like so many different people competing, right? So even while like the LCK was dominating, we were all saying, hey, like watch out because like China's coming. And when they show up and they like take hold of like being the most dominant region in the world, they will not let go. And so even with these changes at Worlds where they're allowed to have 4 teams now, you're going to see 4 Chinese teams in 4 different groups, and you're going to see all 4 of those Chinese teams make it out of groups. I guarantee it. They're just that dominant.
The meta is also favoring them very heavily, where it's just
Bloodbath.
fight, fight, fight. And if you fight some more, you'll win.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like one of the old like expressions, right, where they just would scream "fighting" into the mic, you know, and that was like one of their like big like montage things. Like that was like what we knew that region for. So, I mean, it's exciting. I like to see it, and I'm excited to see how the narrative is going to shift to like, I guess, accommodate them. It's going to be kind of like them versus the rest of the world, right? Like, who's going to be able to like make it? Are there actually going to be Western teams that can compete against the the Chinese teams?
I agree that I think all 4, except for, well, I mean, it depends on which 4 go to Worlds. Like, there's plenty of Worlds caliber teams in the LPL right now, but I don't think all 4 are gonna like be first in their group, and I think maybe one of them, and I'm looking at like a 3rd or 4th seed, will drop out of groups, because I think you have like Top Dogs and FPX top, and I guess JDG too, and how like they're consistent. But I think that 4th seed of like IG, RNG, it's gonna be a little shaky. Maybe even EDG makes it into there. Other than that, I think this just like really lets the statement out of like, China is here to stay as like the best region in the world. Korea's reign is over.
Mm-hmm.
Although Korea is no slouch in their like gameplay, I think the meta destroying Korea's environment, and yeah, it's gonna take another big meta shift to like see who's like on top again.
Right, right. And it's just my personal prediction, like the meta's going to keep shifting towards this sort of fighting playstyle. Because I think Riot wants the game to look more fun to the casual viewer. And it's just, it's plain and simple, fighting looks more fun than macro to the casual, like, player and also viewer, right? If you're trying to explain like the game to someone new and try to get them interested, they're going to get a lot more interested in these explosions and Orn ults being thrown around the map and all these like crazy things happening, like, oh, this guy just body slammed another dude into like a riverbed or something like that, and they're like fighting dragons and stuff. Like it's gonna look a lot more entertaining than like, oh, this team shifted a little bit better than the other team and now they have like map control and whatnot. So I think they're trying to reach a more casual audience, and it just so happens that China fits that sort of meta already. They were ahead of the curve, I guess. All right.
Yep.
So, do we have any final thoughts before we end off the stream?
An NA team will make a playoff game in Worlds.
You think so?
NA will make it out of groups.
Okay.
And I think Europe does not make it to finals this year.
Oh, spicy.
It's going to be 2 LPLs.
All right. Well, we'll just keep track of that. I'll see you guys later. Once we get these results from the week 1, we'll see who was right, who was wrong. Either we're all right or we're all wrong, considering how these picks went down, minus a couple. So, thank you to anybody listening. If you like this, make sure to like and subscribe. Hit us up with that bell so you can be notified when future podcasts come out. All right. I'll see you all later. Peace.